Hello everyone, Mr. Stevens here with another algebra lesson, this time talking about substitution. And what substitution means is that we're going to take numbers and substitute them into algebraic expressions. Remember, these are the things we learned about in the last lesson. So the meaning of substitution is fairly straightforward. It's to replace the letters in an expression with a given number. So in the last lesson we looked at this particular expression a lot. And to substitute something into this expression would be to give a value to a. So say that a equals 2. And then take the 2 and put it here where the a is. So this would become 3 times 2 plus 5, which becomes 6 plus 5, which becomes 11. I'm going to do a couple of quick examples here. I'm going to answer the questions down the left column, and then I want you to pause after I answer each one and have a go at the corresponding question over here, okay? So remember, wherever we see a t, we're going to replace it with a 5. 5 plus 7 equals 13. Now have a go at number 1 over this side. And what you should have done is put the 5 here, minus 2, so the answer is 3. And now here again, my turn. 8t, I'm going to replace the t with a 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And you have a go now over here. What you should have done is replace the t with a 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Now things get a little bit more complicated in this last example. Remember, we replace every t with a 5. And what we end up is, width is 10 divided by 5, which is 2, plus 4 minus 5, or 1. And now you guys are going to have an attempt at number 3. Pause the video while you do. And now for the last time, everywhere we see a t, we replace it with a 5. And then we solve. 5 squared means 5 times 5, which is 25, plus 2 minus 5 equals 22. And this same principle applies to even more complex situations. This time we have 2 letters to deal with. Wherever we see a p, we're going to put a 4. So let's start with this. And then we'll replace it with the 4. Got ahead of myself a little bit there. And then we solve the problem. And now here in the second example, we have a t and a p. So wherever we have a t, we're going to put the 5. And wherever we have a p, we're going to put the 4. And then we just do the maths. 25 plus 16 is 41. And then again, over here you can get even more complicated scenarios. Which equals the square root of, wherever we have a p, we put a 4, plus 3 squared, which equals the square root of 16 plus 9, which equals the square root of 25, which equals 5. So what you need to remember, guys, is that wherever you have a letter, you replace it with the value that you're given, and then you just solve the problem. And don't be afraid to just take this first line here or this first line here, and put it straight into your calculator. Your calculator will always be there to help you as long as you remember this first step of replacing the letters with the numbers. You guys are going to get a chance to practice this now on page 349. In the first two questions, questions 6 and 7, you're only going to do the left-hand side, and if you get up to question 8, I'll get you to do the whole thing. Thanks everyone.